they said it wasn't gonna happen. They said it wasn't gonna happen. No, there's not gonna be a Nintendo Direct on January 11th. Nintendo hasn't even announced anything. You're getting your hopes up for nothing. And then what happens? What happens? I'm sitting at work, minding my own business, doing my day job, and I start getting messages on my phone. Hey man, did you see this during the Direct? Hey man, did you see this during the Direct? Oh wow, I can't believe they showed this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They didn't announce a Direct yesterday. They didn't announce a Direct 2 days ago. They announced these things beforehand. There is no Nintendo Direct on January 11th. But sure enough, there was. And people like me, who were stuck at work, are now talking about it several hours after the event. Who cares about what RGT 85 has to say about the Nintendo Direct, right? Well, you do, and that's why I love you. But yes, Nintendo totally dropped a surprise Nintendo Direct, even though it was a Direct that a lot of us expected. When it wasn't announced that it was going to happen, a lot of people were like, oh, maybe next week. But then here we go, we get this mini Direct, which is something we have not seen before. Not a full-scale Direct, but a mini Direct. Now, a lot of people were left disappointed with this Direct. Me, myself, I think there was some excellent things about it, and there were some bad things about it. Some things that maybe disappointed me a little bit. So in this video, we're gonna talk about the good. We're gonna talk about the bad of this Nintendo Direct. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards! Alright, so if you've ever watched one of my videos where I talk about both good things and bad things during a specific event or on a specific game, I like to start out with the bad things first. I like to get the negativity and the bad vibes out of the way and then get into the good stuff for the second half of the video. So I guess the first thing that sort of bothered me about this Direct was something that was pretty much happened between YouTube and the internet journalism community when it comes to gaming. Because a lot of us expected this Direct to be something really big, to be something massive. We didn't know what sort of time frame the games in this Direct were going to be shown. And when it was shown that it was actually a Direct Mini, a smaller scaled down Direct, unfortunately you did not have enough time to sort of reel back your expectations. When something is a mini, I expected it to not be a full-blown experience. Sort of like PSP minis. Remember those games? There were fun little sort of arcade style games that were like $1 or $2 on the PSP download store. They weren't full-scale experiences. When something is a mini, I don't expect a full-scale experience. But unfortunately, the internet moves so fast, the Direct Mini was just thrown up and a lot of people were watching it, so they did not have time to reel back those expectations. And unfortunately, people like myself, other YouTubers, the video game journalism community as a whole, set high expectations for this, and maybe that wasn't fair. So I could see a lot of people being a bit disappointed in that sort of aspect. Maybe they were expecting something more, even though there was tons of great stuff, which I said we'll talk about in the second half of the video. Another big shock for me was the exclusion of Grand Theft Auto 5. I fully believe that this game is being worked on for the Nintendo Switch. It's up and running on the Nintendo Switch from what I've heard, and I was kind of shocked to see that it wasn't there. I sort of expected it to be a springtime release. That was one of the things that I talked about in my Switch Direct presentation sort of hypothesis and what would happen during this Direct. I expected Grand Theft Auto 5. I was going to be more shocked if it didn't come, and they didn't announce it. So chalk that up. Maybe it's a summertime or a fall time release, but I definitely think you will see this game. Also, some people are a bit upset about all of the Wii U games announced. There were several Wii U games that were announced as being ported over to the Nintendo Switch. Two of those games being Hyrule Warriors and the other game being Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Now, I could see people being upset with this if they were diehard Wii U owners. I was a diehard Wii U owner. I picked up most of these titles that came out on the Wii U on the system. Really, the only one I didn't pick up that was a big game was Tokyo Mirage Sessions. So a game like Donkey Kong, a game like Hyrule Warriors, is a game that I have played a lot of. Now, I think if you haven't played these games though, these are excellent filler games, because really that's what Nintendo is doing right now in this segment. Sort of padding things out, making filler games. And these two Wii U ports are excellent games. I actually own Hyrule Warriors on both the Wii U and the 3DS. I've sunk hundreds of hours into it. It's a fantastic game. I may actually rebuy it because it has all of the DLC and some new stuff in it. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze also has some new stuff in it as well, so that's pretty cool. But I could see people being a bit disgruntled at the amount of Wii U ports. But once again, you have to look at the current generation of gaming. The first year of the PS4 and the Xbox One were tons and tons of ports. It's just sort of what gaming has become. So I'm not too disappointed in that, but I do see how people would be disappointed. My final little bit of a letdown, and I may catch some flack for this, and that's okay if I do, you know, I'm a grown man, I can accept it. Kirby! I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling it. Here's the problem with Kirby. Here's the main problem. Okay, I loved Planet Robobot. Planet Robobot was an amazing game. It was so good on the 3DS. I think I reviewed it, and I think I actually gave it like an 8.5 or a 9 over on Nintendo Enthusiast. I absolutely loved that game. But with Nintendo this generation, they've been taking sort of risks, you know. Super Mario Odyssey was a bit of a risk, you know. It wasn't really in line with what they had done with like previous 3D Mario games, you know, since Super Mario 64. Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Mario World 3D, these were all different sorts of 3D experiences. Super Mario Odyssey went back to more of that N64 style, and it really relished because of it. It was my favorite game of 2017. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a pretty big departure from what we've seen in Zelda games. And Kirby, it's just kind of playing it safe. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think the game looks pretty graphically pleasing, and there were some elements that I liked about it, the new abilities and whatnot. But maybe I would have liked to have seen Kirby sort of veer off into a different direction like these other Nintendo characters have been doing as of late. So for me, that was a bit of a personal letdown. I probably will still check out the game, but just a little bit of a letdown for me. Now, that's all I have to say negative about the event. There was a lot of stuff that I really liked about it, so now it's time to talk about the positives. Boy, oh boy, where do I begin? I know where I'm going to begin. Probably the game that Wood and I, and probably others like Spawnwave, will be playing so much. We will be streaming this game all the time. If you see a Nintendo Switch stream on YouTube, it'll probably be Wood and I playing this game. Payday 2, folks. I want Payday 2 so bad. I loved the original Payday on the PS3. It was one of my most played games on the system. And this version of Payday 2 looks fantastic. You gotta remember, although Payday 2 is an older game, they have released so much DLC for this game. And the fact that it looks like most of this DLC, if not possibly all of it, is going to be included in the Nintendo Switch version of the game has me very excited. I think the graphics look really good for a Switch version of a game, and it's gonna have an additional Switch-only character. So Payday 2, I love everything I see about it. I want it in my hands. I want to play it for hours and hours and hours and stream it with my friends. What else did I like? The World Ends With You, the remix edition. Where did this come from? People have been wanting this forever. If you're not familiar with this game was released on the DS, and it was heralded as one of the most interesting JRPGs in recent memory. It was very modern. It was very unique. And to see this game coming to the Nintendo Switch is super cool in my opinion. I think that's awesome. I'm glad they're sort of remixing it and making it, you know, a more fleshed out thing and adding in some additional stuff. I'm really hoping that there's going to be a physical release of this as well, because that's a game that I would like to pick up physically. I'm very interested to see what else to expect from this game, but I'm really hyped about it. The Mario Tennis game, I'm not going to say it's good, but it definitely looks like a step in the right direction from what we saw with the Wii U game, which was essentially just filler and pretty boring. I think this game has a better chance of survival. I think this will be a more fleshed out and fun game. One of the biggest surprises of this Direct had to be Super Mario Odyssey free DLC. I'm pretty sure a YouTuber claimed in one of these YouTube prediction videos that that was going to be a thing, didn't they? And that is Super Mario Odyssey DLC. Now I know what you're saying, Nintendo DLC, blah, blah, blah. Yes, people, thank you. Thank you. I can see into the future. I can predict things properly. And yes, I called that. I love Super Mario Odyssey. It was my game of the year for 2017. So to have free DLC, that's awesome. Bring on more. I want more DLC. Give me more worlds. Give me all sorts of crazy stuff. I'll pay for it if I have to. But to see free DLC come to Super Mario Odyssey, that is super cool as well. Now, one of the biggest surprises beyond that was Dark Souls Remastered. Who guessed this? There have been rumors of Dark Souls coming to the Nintendo Switch pretty much since the Switch was announced. That Bandai Namco, who is just swimming in Nintendo stuff right now, it looks like, that was going to be a game that was coming to the Switch, so it's awesome to see this remastered game coming to the Switch. Truth be told, I've only dabbled in this game, so I'm not too super familiar with it. To play it on the go, and it looks like it's only going to be a $40 game, that is a no-brainer for me. I'm really looking forward to checking that game out. But the biggest surprise was something that look, this wasn't even on my radar. I didn't even know this game came out on the PS4 last year. I actually had to look it up when they announced it. And I don't know the whole subtitle of it, but ease your mind and the rest will follow. Ys looks amazing. This game just came out of nowhere. I love the Ys series. I've played the older ones, you know, on the retro systems. I actually have the Ys collection on the DS, but Ys are super good RPGs, JRPGs. And yes, you do pronounce it Ys according to Joe from GameSack, and he's a nerd. So if anyone knows it, you know, Joe would know it. And really, this game looks amazing to me. It looks sort of like a Xenoblade 2 style experience. The graphics look fantastic. The combat looks interesting. The characters look unique. Where did this game come from? I want it now. I love being able to play JRPGs on my Nintendo Switch because I go around a lot. I'm always moving around, either it's in my house or out in public. And to be able to play full-scale, console-quality JRPGs on the go, that's just an amazing thing for me. So Ys was probably the biggest surprise of this for me, and that game looks absolutely gorgeous. I think the best thing about everything we saw during this Nintendo Direct from other smaller things announced, like the FE game, or FE, I don't know how they're really saying it, was the fact that all of this is coming between now and May. So you're gonna have a lot of games. There are games for everyone on this thing. I'm very curious to see how Dark Souls pans out. I want to see how it compares to the other versions of the game. The fact that it is a remastered version, says it right in the title, shows you that the Nintendo Switch does have some high quality content coming to it from third-party developers. So all in all, a solid Direct. Maybe people got their expectations a bit too high. Maybe people like me created expectations too high. There were a few lowlights for it. There was a few disappointing things that I thought, you know, maybe it could be a little better, like that Kirby game. I'm still a little suspect on it, but the good more than outweighs the bad in my opinion. There were tons of things I was excited about, and it's a great time to be a Switch owner. When you couple that with the fact that there's going to be a ton of indie games as well, there's more than enough stuff to play this spring season. Plus, I still gotta play Mario and Rabbids, man. I'm not even gonna lie, it's sealed on my couch. I need a little downtime. I need a little downtime. But thank you for checking out this video. What did you think? What did you think of the Nintendo Direct? Let me know in the comments section down below what your high points were, what your low points were, and we will talk about them in the discussion. Thank you for checking out this video. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. You might as well. You got to the end of the video, you might as well subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Share this video around with your friends. Let them know that there are cool people on YouTube like me talking about video games, so that way I can get more subscribers and I can make more content for you guys. If you really like my face, check out all the links in the description box down below. I got a website now. I got t-shirts now. People are buying my shirts and posting them on my Facebook fan page. I got a Facebook fan page. Go like that. I got a Twitter. Follow that. I got a Patreon. Help me out with that. Let's do it all together. I love all you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Later.
RGT 85. RGT 85. RGT 85. RGT 85.